So we bought the facility, and then I just got a private lender to lend me that money for 150 grand. All right, so I got a private lender, private money lender to lend me that money, because basically with an abandoned facility, just like a new construction facility, right? Just like a brand new construction facility, if there's not any income coming in, then you will not be able to get money for that deal. Okay, so that's just how it works. Okay, so and that's how commercial real estate works. It's like it's all based on income, right? So if you can't show a bank, oh, it's making this much money per year, then you're never going to get a loan from a bank, really. And it's all based on vacancy and how full it is. So essentially this one that we bought, it was pretty much full. I think we had like one or two people that were supposedly paying, but they really weren't paying on the abandoned facility. So we bought it, we cleaned it out. It was completely full of just crap. We cleaned it all out. Meaning my husband, Pete, right? So this is Pete. This is me. This is Chris now. I could put this here. Right, this is find them, fund them, run them. Underneath Pete, we have Bonnie, who's our our operations manager. But anyway, so Pete worked on trying to get the thing cleaned out, all the crap cleaned out. And then we started slowly leasing that up. So from January until now, it took us all year to get that thing completely leased up. It took us a year to get 76 units completely full. I would say like 74 units or something, because like we have like one unit, of course. My husband always likes to have one unit to keep for himself and put all his crap in it, right? So anyways, so now we're at the point where it's all leased up. We're at 50 cents a square foot for that property. And actually market calls for 67 cents a square foot. All right, now, a year and a half ago, it was at like 50 cents, 40 to 50 cents a square foot, because we're in tertiary market. Now market calls for 67 cents a square foot. So essentially what I'm doing is I'm selling my facility, which is 100% full at 50 cents a square foot, to my student who's going to buy it for 350 grand. And then he can raise the rates to 67 cents a square foot as soon as he gets that facility. Right. But for us, you see what I'm saying? Like, when you think about like storage, like investing in self-storage, and then you're leasing that thing up, like you want to get it full. So you try to come up with a number that's like a good number to get it leased up quickly, right? So we were at basically 50 cents a square foot. We didn't really actually do any raises or anything like that. And it took us a year to get that thing leased up. As we cleaned out units, we would lease it up. Luckily, it was a very fast time. It wasn't really too bad to get that thing leased up. So we got it to 50 cents a square foot. We paid 150 grand for it. We're selling it for 350 grand. So we're going to make 200 grand on it essentially. And then what we're going to do is either we're going to just 1031 exchange that into a new property. So that means we have $200,000 to put it into a new property. Plus we have the 150,000 from the private lender. And the private lender is just like, just keep using my money. Right. So essentially now we're going to have a $350,000, an amount of money of $350,000 that we can just go and use as a down payment for a $2 million, or let's say $1.5 million facility or whatever we want to do. Right. And that's how it works. You see how that works? So it's our first time to figure that out, to go through the liquidations process, put everything together. Now the student is just going to a bank and getting a loan. That's the difference between a mismanaged facility and an income producing property. So a mismanaged facility, you have to have private money, right? Because you can't show proof of income, right? So for this abandoned storage facility, I couldn't show proof of income, right? Because it didn't have any income, right? So I had to go out and find somebody to give me 150 grand. Once I got the 150 grand, and I just did like an interest only loan for 3 years, or, he'll do like whatever, my lenders, they'll just do like 5 years or 10 years. They don't care how long. They don't want you to give them, private lenders don't want you to give their money back. As long as you're making those payments every single month, they don't want their money back, because once they have to switch hands, they lose that month. That's like, a couple $1,000 they lose, right? They don't want to lose that money. So that's why they want you to just roll that immediately into the next deal. But essentially, I went out, I found an abandoned facility. I put it under contract. It was 76 units. I bought it for 150 grand. I only borrowed enough money for the purchase of the property. That's all I buy, because I don't like to borrow more than what the purchase is. So we'll just come out of pocket ourselves to manage the facility. Now, ask my husband Pete, and he would love to get more money, right? Every once in a while we'll pull out, we'll ask for a little bit more, right? But a lot of times I just ask for the purchase price, because I don't like to pay such a high interest rate, because we had to pay, we don't have to pay that high, like 8% maybe, but like, especially when you're beginning, when I started out, I was paying 10 and 12% on that money, right? For a private lender. So I try to only borrow as much as I possibly can. Okay. So now basically what we're doing is as we're selling this thing, we're trying to figure out what we're going to do. And like we're going to 1031 exchange and find something else to buy. We'll stay in storage, but we're looking to see kind of what we're going to do. But as you can see, even with the $150,000 facility that I bought and I leased it up, all I'm doing is, now I could hold on to it. I could hold on to it and refi it out, right? I could do that. I could go get a loan right now because it's an income producing property and it's producing like $4,000 a month now. I can go and get a loan and then refi it out and hold on to it. But what we decided to do is, instead of refining it out, because it's going to cost us like 10 or 15 grand just to do that, which really kind of just irks me. Instead of doing that, what we're going to do is sell it and then 1031 exchange into another deal and use the private lender's money on top of our money that we're going to make and just invest in another property. A bigger property is what we're going to do. So we'll probably find like $1 million property, or what we'll do is we'll use that money, right? That money we'll use maybe in our fund, right? Because we're in the process of putting together it's a Reg D fund. It's a 506C Reg D fund. We're about to launch that thing in just a minute, and that thing's going to raise, hopefully raise $10 million for us to go out and buy deals as well too. So we might just use that money and just put it as our equity into that fund as well too. So there's a lot of good things, but what my point is that you can start with little tiny deals. All right. So there's like this kind of thing in the storage investing world that you have to have a lot of money to get into storage investing. But and a lot of people, because I'm doing coaching calls right now and doing calls with anybody that's interested in getting into the coaching program, they're all asking me like, how much money do you have? All right. And the truth of the matter is, you really don't need to have any money if you learn how to do what I'm doing. Now, money makes things a lot easier, right? But like I said, all I did was like find an abandoned property that was worth 100, that I bought for 150 grand, found somebody to give me 150 grand. I came out of pocket nothing at all for that property. And then I came out of, not for that purchase, but I did come out of pocket to like get the dumpsters and get it all cleaned up and kind of like, labor and like, hard work and stuff like this. And actually I didn't do any of that. My husband did that. Right. But, and now we're going to make like 200 grand on that thing. Right. And it took us a year and a half to get there. That's it. A year and a half. All right. So hopefully I inspire you to think about this, right?